Vajra Sattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajra Sattva Tenopa Tishta Didro Meba Soto Kayo Mebawa Sopo Kayo Mebawa Anurakto Mebawa Sarva Siddhi Me Prayatsam Sarva Karma Sutsame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sarva Tathagata Vajra Mame Munsa Vajra Bhava Maha Samaya Sattva Ahum Pe Sangye Chodan Soge Chonamla Chanchu Pardo Dani Kyapsu Chi Dagi Jinso Gibe Sonamgi Drola Pinchre Sangye Druparesh Sangye Chodan Soge Chonamla Chanchu Pardo Dani Kyapsu Chi Dagi Jinso Gibe Sonamgi Drola Pinchre Sangye Druparesho Sangye Chedan Tsogi Chonamla Chancho Pardo Dani Kyapsu Chi Dagi Jinso Gibe Sonamgi Drola Pinchre Sangye Druparesho. In the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha, I take refuge unto enlightenment. Through the practice of generosity and the other perfections, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. I will go first for the Tibetan and then we go back to the English. Tare chago tamcheda ta. Dendo tamcheda den bekaldir sapku. Mi kum gyadra dan chalwe tablek. Gyadra dan jorwe kebarni. Sekte goms. Ngenche tetsam kemshi dungal wa tendi ngudula wa tendi ten dindra matobe len. Chinche kyan tetsam kemte dunga tetsam nyong minyongi tsawa tendi la tukbes. Tare sapko. Norbu bumdra ringtu tsalne nyowar chinkyang nyegyo mewes. Talwa kompa di tabu nyeba tsengpala. Tsangwang korgyur soge kyang manyebe chamgu nyingyu di tabu nyebe tsengpala. Nyeba tar nyamsu lingyu samgun la tsumpe lo keba di tsengpala. Keba tar chegom dan jogom shargom sok che she tsam junga di tsengpala. Kabrer da mikomba gyadra dan chalwe tsempam samgumo. Katsur lokte nyawa so mikomba gyadra mambo yokyang. Teda chikyang da masimba di shinto tsempala nyamtu samna. Bokchok tabu. Chul cheyans. Bokcho chinche mikomba ngetu ketsu sams. Ter jik yere tedatu. Makeba tablek nyamtu sams. Deljor tönche kap dala gobe. Tön nekabdan tönda tartugi juktun chirashi drup goyans. Ten dila teni drup tu yo ang nyamba yang drens. Nima rere ne tönche wa. Nyingchi la yang soksa dripchang. Lamla pakcha jokpa so nima rere dang. Kechi lang. Töntu labchen tu drubyo bar samna serungo sola chi yus. Okay. Page 47. We also have to think of our perfect human rebirth in terms of the second quality, endowment. The first aspect is the freedom. Freedom means to be free from certain negative conditions. Endowment means the richness, which means the richness of what we have gained, of the positive aspects that we have. Endowment, in Tibetan is said jorwa, means something found or acquired. What have we found? We have to think that we have found and gathered all the favorable conditions. We have a human body, wealth, wisdom, effort, faith, a virtuous spiritual friend, teachings, and the ears-whispered lineage of Lord Manjushri. We have to be careful at this present moment when we are free of all things that we should be free of, and we have all that we should have. Okay, we saw already before that we are free from certain conditions that would not allow us to practice the Dharma correctly. Okay, so we're already very fortunate from that. Now, let's see if we have the conditions which Pabongkha Rinpoche remembers as positive conditions. We have a healthy human body? I would say yes, relatively yes. Nobody here have a perfect human body, but I think relatively yes. We have the minimum necessary material things. Yes, so we have wealth. Do we have the wisdom of discrimination, in which we can have some idea this is good, that is bad, I should do, I shouldn't do, and so on? I would say yes, we do have. Do we put effort in our practice? Up to a certain point. Do we have faith? Yes. Do we have a virtuous spiritual friend? Yes. Do we receive teachings? Yes. And do we have are we part of a whispered lineage? Or we are part of an uninterrupted lineage? Yes. So we do have everything, actually. Okay. So as Pabongkha Rinpoche says, we have to be careful at this present moment when we are free from all things that we should be free of, and we have all that we should have. That's so rare. That's so difficult to get. It's so precious. So we must rejoice about it. Sure, if we start comparing to others, are there things that we think that others have and I don't have? Sure. Oh, because he has this opportunity and I don't have. Because the other one have that and I don't have that. Because the other one is like this and I am not. We can always compare to others. But the fact is that if we start comparing to the others that actually have situations that we are free from and don't have what we have, it's much more than what the other way around. In other words, are we privileged or not? Yes. Even though we may not have what someone else have, are we still privileged? Yes. One thing is not taking out the other. And the danger is that if we do not recognize our stage as being privileged, we may just lose our life by complaining of what we don't have and living our life as if we were victims of the world. It's like we were able to be free from hunger, and now we start complaining, what do we have for lunch? Is it zucchini or eggplant or whatever, Oh, I don't like pasta, I prefer rice or this or that, according to my diet, this should be like that and that should be like that, and I have this and I have that. Okay, nothing against diets. The only point is that let's rejoice for what we have. Then we can try make the things the best way as we want, but let's rejoice. Otherwise, we can get lost around a situation when we have everything we need. We are free from certain conditions that we have not even idea how terrible they are. And it's not that obvious that we are in this place. So let's take into consideration truly the privileged situation in which we are. I would suggest that you meditate on the combination of the hundreds of strokes of good fortune of being free from hundreds of known leisures, of known freedoms, and the feature of these different endowments. Let's familiarize ourselves with the hundreds and thousands of things and situations that we could be in and we are not. And that's lucky for us. That's not lucky, we are fortunate. That's wonderful. And on the other side, all the positive things that we have. If we start really thinking about it, there are so many. There is just reasons for us to rejoice about it. We have obtained such a precious, supportive body, such a precious opportunity, which we did not find irrespectively of so much wandering and suffering in the past. We have an opportunity now that most probably we never had before, such as this one, so easily. Even the future uncertainty of whether we will wander and suffer that much or not also depends on this fundamental supportive body. Therefore, we have to be careful, which means, have we ever found in the past such positive opportunity as we have now? I don't know. But the probabilities are not that high. Are we sure that in the future we can again get such precious opportunity as the one we have now? No. So we need to be careful, which means we need to use this opportunity for the minimum to assure ourselves that we can continue to have this opportunity in the future. That's the minimum that we should get out of it. We feel satisfied about having found such perfect human body of leisure and disposition for Dharma, which cannot be found even if we had the equivalent of hundreds of jewels to spend. Can we buy such opportunity? Even if we are the most rich of all, can we buy faith? Can we buy gratitude? Can we buy a spiritual master? Can we buy friends? Can we buy health? We cannot buy any of these things. Okay. We have this opportunity, and it's more precious than anything that we could ever get. It's like winning in the lottery, but a very, very big lottery, much more than whatever if we get billions, I'm quite sure to any one of us here, if I come and I get you, do you want €1 billion? What's the answer? Yes, sure. No? Would you exchange €1 billion for the opportunity you have to practice the Dharma? I hope the answer is no. But I don't know, each one needs to check for your own self. The fact is that the opportunity we have is so, so, so precious. We are satisfied to have found the ear-whispered lineage of Lord Manjushri, which is the lineage coming from Lama Tsongkhapa, of which we are part, which cannot even be found by Brahma, Indra, and the Chakravartin, the universal king. It doesn't matter. We can have so much power and everything, but it's not easily that we get in contact with an uninterrupted lineage that can transmit to us the path to enlightenment. That's not obvious at all. Just as we have found it, what satisfaction to have generated a mind of striving in the practice of thinking, reflecting, and meditating. And just as that mind is generated, what satisfaction to at least have learned how to do analytical meditation, stabilizing meditation, and the glancing meditation, and so forth. Not only we have met the Dharma, but we have learning how to practice, and we can practice and we can follow this path. This is so wonderful. Sometimes we indeed have to reflect as well on the satisfaction of being free from hundreds of non-leisures. If we look inside and think, although there are hundreds of non-leisures of states free from freedom, states such as the hell, none of them has happened to me. How privileged I am. We realize that it is a great miracle like the enhancing rite. As an enhancing rite, I would suggest you think over taking rebirth at random in the non-leisure states in the future. With the vivid fear of those states or realms, think how lucky we are that we have not been born there. Don't need to go too far. turn on the TV. Look at the news. Just look at the places where war is going on. And just think how precious, how fortunate I am that I am here, that I'm free from that. There are situations in this world that we do not even imagine. And normally what we see in the news is not even the worst part shown. Sometimes you say, oh, news makes things look so terrible. No, reality is much worse. No doubt about that. No doubt. So, if we just for one moment, we start imagining how would it be if I was in a different place with different conditions, and I was in a place of suffering and conflict and violence and fear and hunger and so on. Then we can open our eyes and we can say, I am free from all that. How fortunate I am. And the point is truly for us to rejoice, because we need to remember also another thing. Complaining, it's a habit that we make. The more we complain, the more we will complain. And suddenly there we are, making a big fuss because of a pimple that we have on our face, or because the thing is not exactly as we thought it should be, or because of this or for that. And the most crazy thing is there we are occupying our life with little stupid things, when we have the most rare and wonderful opportunity. If this is not craziness, then tell me what is it? What is it, Because here we are with the best of the opportunities to make our life truly meaningful, to do something to change our mind, to benefit others in many ways. And instead, there we are complaining about the pimple in our face. And because this is like this, and he said that, and the other one did like this, and then all of this. And we spend our life with it. So, we need to cultivate this joy, this rejoicement of what we have, of this wonderful, precious opportunity that we do have right now here. But in the same way that we can train ourselves to complain, we can train ourselves to rejoice. We can make this positive habit also. Okay? So this is what we're talking about. Let's rejoice. And this gives us an energy, this gives us a strength to do so much. Okay? This is very, very important for us. Okay. Let's move on. Deljur tönche kap dala gobe tön ne kap gi tön da tartu gi tön chida shik drup go kyang. Ten dila tene drup tu ye ang nyamba yang yang den. Nima re ne tön chewa ning chiglang chokpas choksa dripchang. Lamla pakcha jokpa so nima re dam. Kechi lang tön shintu labchen drup tu ye bar samna serungu so la chi ye. Yishingi norbu rinpoche chewa tatik ye kyang. Tse chimar ngen so le dremba tsamyang mitup. Tarbada tamche kimbe koban la dremba tasho. Ngonto lu ten sangpo. Tsamyang jim minu. Tadung tela drakul dangwe sungyo. Tentu kale chenpo chego. Tendre norbu chewa tati parsha. Shikyang yoba lekyang meba lekpar midukam. Lekpar som. Deljur dila tene ngenso gi keko yang di kaknu samba gyachin korlo gyure gyalpur so. Ngonto lu sampo yang di drupnu. Tarpe koba yang di drupnu. Tamche kembe koba yang di drupnu. Niktu gi tsedon chigla sungjo dorje chan di drupnu be yishingi norbu gi chewa tarile lakpe norbu ngoma te rarang giluten di mayinam. Shiptu somda ngebar yino. Norbu pashi tsikne rangilu titsam sökyan te tarpa drup minu. Teljor gi milu di tarpar drupnu. Norbu chewa tatrik cho chiktu shak. Deljor gi milu di cho chiktu shakte kang dam chena Dam weba ludi inos. Perna. Luda mila shintes. Lula norbu panzo dan. Chigna yishingi norbu gyundu gembar chekyam. Teljor di mebe rangi tundro kene kyan do manu. Mila la norbu parsha. Tsampa tsamyang. Shintu könkyans. Teljor di la yobe kutse tela sunjo druba ins. Tendre norbu chu sowa ma sonwar sapgöz. Ngay son do tengi degi juk tarbada tamche kembe tsawa zuk di tabu nyebar gawala. Rangre shika tabu shik chungyang jitsam ga tsur cheking yöz. Te digba chero, donga chero, kale chero, lega maro le, chimale pingyo mebe tengdu nötsab che. Deljor gi shiga dila kewa tengi dume sonam chegi yoba dila somams. Tani tengi dume sonam ches. Korlo gyurwe gyalshiki midöwe sonam chegos. Tani norbul elhape tönche drubgos. Norbu chewa tadri midrube tönche drubgos. Lu wangdan samba wangi druma tube tönche drubgos. Tendra nyingre shintu druptu yobe laktu lengos. Rangi che nuna nyinchi layang ten shengi kewa mambo drup kawe nyembo lendo yos. Nye kawa tendra ngunche manye chinche nye kawa tendra kala zom gyu drup kawa ngowo zom kawa pe si kawa te lenchik te lenchik nyeka nyenye bas zomka zomba dindra tongse to tangwa panglas. Okay. Page 49. The great meaning of leisures and endowments of our perfect human body. When we mean human body, we mean this perfect life, this perfect opportunity that we have. We should often recall that whatever interest of any type, temporary or ultimate, that we have to achieve can be achieved in dependence upon this supportive body. It doesn't matter what we want to do in this life, for this life or for what comes after this life. It can only be obtained through this opportunity of life that we have, through this body. There is no other way of that. There is great meaning in every single day. In every single day of our life, we can make it meaningful. We can, take the essence of it. Even in one day, we can accumulate merits and exalted wisdom and purify our negativities. Every day, we can deposit imprints of the path and so forth. Upon thinking that we can achieve an enormous benefit from this supportive human body, even instant by instant, what value is there in gold, silver, and so forth? The most crazy thing is that we have these wonderful opportunities, which we are free from so many bad negative conditions, and we have so many wonderful conditions in order to practice the Dharma, and very often we lose our life by being taken to, let's call like this, material things and things that actually don't bring anything, Okay, we accumulate a lot of gold and silver and money and so on, and then what? Can it assure us at least that we are going to have a good death? No. There are sometimes people that maybe they have so much money, but still they have one worry: I need to die, and now what? And now what I do? I met people like this. And it's not a small thing. Okay? So, once we have this body, this opportunity of life that gives us the possibility to do things so precious as to cultivate love, patience, stability, to accumulate merits, to purify our negativities, to familiarize ourselves with the path to enlightenment. What do we want more than that? Why should we use this precious thing so-called life, which happens on every day, on every moment, only to accumulate gold, silver, which means money and material things? What's the point of that? Because even, let's say, we get something very precious, Okay? And then what happened? We put it there in our room, in our house, something beautiful. A golden plate from the 8th century, whatever, it's very big value. Then we have it there, and then so what? What we do with that now? Can it assure us happiness? Maybe we are worried someone will steal it. What's the function that that thing has to us? Other than us can be saying to other people, I have a very precious plate in my house. I don't know. So basically, maybe we find some function. Hopefully, who has it has give a function to it. But the point is that it's so precious what we have, as this opportunity really to make our life meaningful. We should not lose the life for things that are meaningless. That's the point that Pabongkha Rinpoche is bringing here. We should not let our life go for things that, they just go by themselves. They don't really bring any meaning to life. Even if we had 1 trillion wish-fulfilling jewels, they would not even be able to pull us out of a lower realm in our next life. Even if we had trillions of euros, we were the most rich person in this world, can this assure us to have a good death and a good rebirth? No. So what's the point, I passed my whole life working for the money, and here's a very simple point. It's no problem of having material things, but the problem is then when we dedicate our life for the material things, when we become the slaves of the object that we possess and not the other way around. Okay? We may have a beautiful big house. Then what? No. Like one time, I was in a very nice place for a wonderful person, and I had this very, very nice room looking to the sea. And only the bathroom of the room where I was maybe around 70 square meters. Okay? And then what, You do what you do in a small bathroom, you do in the big bathroom. Also, it's the same, no? So finally there is, and you put so much effort and you have so much, which is no problem having anything. The point is, how much time, how much energy do I dedicate in my life to take care of the things that I have? Because what I have of most precious of all is the life itself. So, no problem in having material things. Even in the Bodhisattva vows, it is said, if you have the opportunity of having power and wealth, you cannot give it up. And someone may ask, excuse me, can you, Buddha, please get some of your ideas fixed? Because in one way you say that this is useless, on the other way you say that I need to get it. What's the right way? It's useless in the moment that I project my happiness into it, and I live for that as an ultimate goal. It's useful in the moment that I want to use it for the benefit of others. If I really want to act for the benefit of others, how can I help more other people? Having wealth or not having wealth? Having wealth. How can I help better others? Having a good influence in society or not having a good influence? Having power and influence. So, if I truly want to be of benefit for others, then it's good to have power and this, but not for my own personal benefit, such seeing it as a final goal, but just as a mean to do something more. So the point is that there is nothing wrong of having things, but we cannot live for the things. The things must be there to serve us and not us the other things. If I have something, that's wonderful, as long as that thing is serving me and not me serving the things that I have. That's the important point that we should be careful. Okay? So Pabongkha Rinpoche continues. Forget about them, which means the trillions of wish-fulfilling material jewels, leading us to liberation or omniscient state, which means Buddhahood. They could not even deliver us a good supportive body of high status on our next life. On the contrary, they could only create enemies and thieves, and we would struggle to protect them. Forget about trillions of jewels. Wouldn't it be better not to have any at all? than having, wouldn't it be better not to have any at all than to have even one? Think well. If we have something that looks like it gives benefit to us, but finally we need to be busy taking care of it and protecting it from someone else and worried that someone will steal and all of this, isn't it better not to have it at all and have our life in our hand? Actually, yes. Okay? It's not so easy for us to accept it, but if we truly think, it's better in this way. Independence upon this perfect human body of leisure and endowments, we can also shut the door of rebirth in lower realms. With this perfect human body of leisure and endowments, we can also obtain the noble body of high status, such as that of Brahma, Indra, and Chakravartin. Through this, we can also achieve the state of liberation. Through this wonderful opportunity of this life we have, we can also achieve the omniscient state of Buddhahood. Through this, also the unified state of Vajradhara can be achieved, even in a short life of the Kali Yuga era. For this reason, isn't the supportive body of our own the real jewel that is worth more than trillions of wish-fulfilling jewels? This condition, this opportunity of life that we have is more precious than any infinite material thing that we may ever gain. If we think carefully, it is definitely more worthy. Even if we manage to pile up jewels equal to our body size, we cannot achieve liberation with them. Instead, with this perfect human body of leisure and endowments, we can achieve liberation. After placing trillions of jewels on one side and putting this perfect human body of leisure and endowments on the other, if we are asked to choose between these two, it is preferable to choose this human body. For instance, it is like the naga and the human being. Here there is a mistake of translation. It's not human being. It's in Tibetan mila, which means milarepa. Okay? So it is not like the naga and the human being. It's like the naga and milarepa. Okay? Because, the nagas have treasures of jewels, and they continuously have wish-fulfilling jewels adorning their heads, but they do not have this perfect human body of leisure and endowment. Therefore, they cannot even prevent their rebirth as animals. On the contrary, Milarepa, forget about jewels. Even Tsampa was extremely rare for him. Milarepa was this great meditator. Even forget about having jewels. He did not even have food to eat easily. But because he had this perfect human body of leisure and endowments, whereby he could accomplish the stage of unification in this life, we must be careful not to waste such a jewel. Is it clear? Because there was a mistake in the text. I just do the correction in Italian also, So the point here, page 51, is telling us that, just take for instance, the Nagas, that they are born in the middle of jewels, they have all the jewels that can expect, but they don't have the ability of directing themselves even for a better rebirth. While Milarepa, that he had no, let away be richness of jewels, he didn't have even food to eat. But because of having this body with freedoms and endowments and richness, having all this wonderful opportunity to practice Dharma, he could reach enlightenment in that life. So, how he could get that? Because he used this opportunity in the right way. So, we must be careful not to waste such a precious jewel that we have. What a joy that we can avoid the lower realms, that we can establish eternal happiness and well-being, that we can establish the root of liberation and the omniscient state. How much happiness would we feel even if we received something like an inheritance? In fact, that would be only a waste. That would be only a way to create enormous negative karma, enormous suffering, enormous work, nothing more than much work. Have you ever seen people fighting in family because of inheritance? Very often. So there we are, we get a heritage. Oh, how wonderful. Then what comes from that? Fight, negativities, pain, And if this don't happen, at least we have a lot of work to do because we need to deal with things. Someone comes and gives us a big house in a place that is difficult to sell. What we do with it, once we already have a place to live. And then we need to work for it. We need to dedicate ourselves for it. We need to put energy for it. So there is nothing more precious than what we already have. That is this wonderful opportunity to practice the Dharma. This doesn't mean that we do not need to take care of the body. This doesn't mean that we don't need to take care of the material things we have, of the work that we do. Okay, but these are all means and not the final goal. That's the main point. Okay? On top of not benefiting us in the future, it brings so much harm. Instead, with this inheritance of the perfect human body of leisures and endowments, we can cultivate the eternal aim. Think about it. So, let us cultivate a future aim. So, let us cultivate a future objective, a future aim. We should cultivate something that cannot be excelled by the kingdom of Chakravartin. Even the greatest of the emperors of the worlds, he cannot get, with all the power and money, he cannot get what we want here. So we put a very high objective for us. We now have to achieve great meaningfulness, which goes beyond that of a jewel. We have to achieve great meaningfulness, which cannot be accomplished by trillions of jewels. We have to achieve great meaningfulness, which cannot be achieved by the Nagarshvara, Brahma or Indra. Every day we can achieve a little bit of such great meaning. Therefore, we should put it in practice. It is possible that we can obtain an essence which is difficult to be achieved by other rebirths in many lives, if we are able. So, what is this so meaningful thing that we can get? Freedom from samsara. How do we get it? Step by step every day. Where do we apply our freedom? In every word we say, in every choice we make, in every action of our daily life. That's where it is. That's where Pabongkha Rinpoche here says, every day we can achieve it. What? This very meaningful thing called liberation from samsara and Buddhahood. A little bit of such great meaning. One step after the other is when we are about to say something. Do I say or do I don't? Maybe better not to say. I say in this way or I say in that way. I act in this way or I act in that way. I do or I don't do. I make this choice or I make that choice. I give love or I close myself. I share or I keep only for me. It's there where our freedom lies there. And that's where we can make this life meaningful. In other words, concluding this part, what Pabongkha Rinpoche is giving to us is that this life is extremely precious. But it's like something that is even difficult to put into words. But we need to familiarize ourselves with this idea in order to really to use it in the best way, with one important detail, which it's coming in the next pages actually. How long is it going to last, this opportunity that we have now here? I don't know. No. Much sooner than later, we will die. Much sooner than later, the opportunity we have will finish. Today we have a good material opportunity, who knows tomorrow? Today we are in good health, who knows tomorrow? Today we have good friends and people around us and we have a good opportunity to sit and meditate, who knows tomorrow? We have no idea. So we need to use the opportunity we have right now in the best of our abilities and not be lost in daily little small things because he said and the other did and because of this and and here and there, blah, blah. We cannot lose our precious opportunity with things that don't take us anywhere. So, this life is too precious for us to waste it. But the point that comes together is, how many times have we talked about this? Many, no? But what's the point, the problem? Now we feel it, maybe. We can say, oh, this life is so precious, I don't want to lose it. Then we go home, we watch a movie, we look at the news, or we just go to sleep, and then in the next day in the morning, we forget about it. And there are we complaining about the little things of life and just taking ourselves with everything. That's why we need to cultivate this feeling. That's why we need to repeat to ourselves again and again and again and again how precious is this opportunity I have. I must not lose it, because problems exist and will always exist for me and for every one of you. So I cannot lose my life just trying to solve problems. And I cannot wait until the day in which I will be able to practice Dharma. I need to practice Dharma now, with the opportunities I have now, today. Okay, I need to go to work. Wonderful. At least I have a work. It would be much worse not having one and not being able to pay for my bills and so on. But some people even don't need to work. Okay, some people. I'm not that people. So what I do, I go to work, but I apply the Dharma where I am. Oh, but I have people near to me that I don't like them. And so then what do you do? Stay complaining the whole life? Practice the Dharma. What do we mean by practice the Dharma? Do we have opportunity to practice patience in our job? I believe so. We have opportunities to practice generosity, to practice stability, to open our heart to other people, to practice acceptance, to practice humility, to deal with our arrogance, with our selfishness, to develop more stability, more wisdom. We develop these things in daily life, not closing ourselves in a place for retreat, even because most of us would not be able to do it, right? Okay, even if you close yourself in the best room, suite room, in the best 5-star hotel, how long can you stay there without freaking out? Without television or phone or anything else, just by yourself. Even with television and phone, I think it's difficult, okay? So forget about going to a cave to meditate, okay? There are very few people that are able to do that. Very few. Like there is one monk that I know in Tibet that went to do that, in Tashilhunpo Monastery. From 800 monks, in more than 50 years, there is one monk that I know that he left the monastery and went into the caves to meditate. And he's like something like 5-6 hours by car, and then 2 days by walk until you get to his cave. And he get people coming there every 6 months to bring him food. And then he's there by himself meditating. Now I think 8 years have passed since he's there. Who of us is really able to do? I'm not able to do that, I tell you. After the second week, maybe we are already, where is my pasta, I have this, and how is I feel cold, and what I will do tomorrow, what if I get sick, and then this, and that, and then we get sick and we start crying, I want my mom, It's not easy. One time I heard an interview from a person that stayed a long time in meditation in a cave, and then someone told this person, oh, you are escaping from life going to stay in a cave for meditation. And this person answered, no. We escape from life by making our life busy and not giving the opportunity to look at our own selves in our eyes and to deal with our own fears and our own shadows. When you are alone by yourself, that's when you really need to deal with your own self, where you have nowhere to escape. That's more difficult, actually. Okay? But who of us really is able to do that? Not many. Okay? Who of us have the preparation really to do it in a meaningful way? Not many. So let's use the opportunity we have right now on every day of our life, on every small action we have to do something meaningful and positive. What do I mean by making this opportunity meaningful, by making this life meaningful? Making ourselves a better person, developing more patience, more love, more generosity, stability, peace, satisfaction, humbleness, generosity, and so on, okay? And on the other side, benefiting others, making our life something that is useful and beneficial for the world and the people around us. That's what it means by making this life meaningful. So let's make it. So as Pabongkha Rinpoche is telling us here, we have such a great opportunity, something so precious, to achieve great meaningfulness. What is this great meaningfulness? Develop your qualities and help others. That's what it is. And how do you achieve? In your every action of your daily life. Every day we can achieve a little bit of such great meaning. Therefore, we should put it in practice. It is possible that we can obtain an essence which is difficult to be achieved by other rebirths in many lives. If we are able, if we put energy, we can achieve now here what maybe we have tried and we couldn't do for lives and lives and lives and lives. It's one opportunity in millions. And this is not an exaggeration. Okay? We have seen this morning more about that. The opportunity we have is not something that we can just say, okay, I know. It's not like that. But we need to be careful not to lose our life with little, stupid, superficial things. Or maybe not stupid, but superficial. Okay? We need to deal with life. We need to take care of the responsibilities we have. We need to take care of our body. We need to take care of our relations. We need to take care of our job. We need to take care of the things that we own. Okay. But that's just a mean. We cannot live life for that. And it's in every small action where we need to practice the Dharma. So don't wait one day when you will be able to practice the Dharma. Just remember, let's do it now. Let's do it today. In every word, in every choice, in every action we do. That's where lies our true freedom. Okay. So, I just advise everyone, please, to take this text of Pabongkha Rinpoche and read it again and again to help us to cultivate this feeling of the preciousness of this life, to rejoice of what we have and generate this ultimate urge to do something about it, to make this life meaningful. That's so important because very easily we can get lost with little things. That's very simple. Okay? Ok. Per concludere, volevo leggere solo questa ultima pagina, così chiudiamo questa parte e domani possiamo partire dall'altra, senza stare a dare grandi spiegazioni. Ok? I would like just to read the last part without giving many explanations, also because the text is quite clear. Rangi chenu na nima chila antene kewa mambo drupka nyingpo lentu yus nyekawa tindra ngonche manye chinche nyeka tindra kala zom gyu drupka ngowo zomka pesika tinlen chik nyeka nyeba zomba dindra tongse totana panlas Tei pen tang sings. Ta plakma chimbo yoba dila. Ninse meba nyingbo len rikpala. Didar micheba di pambala. Rangi rangla gogor. Nyingpu tsempu che. Tongse tangwa di panglas. Serche kyambala chupo shintu. Dugpada kebra chiyus. Rangi lugi dugos, talwa dan jorwa dindra tomnes, chuso kala tongpe, tuanchen dindra tomnes, tuanme kala tongpe, nyeka dindra tomnes, nyeka dindra tomne, ginar kala döpe. Kechi rere lang, mayembe, tingyo tongo, Nyingpo kanglön chilön cheren, norbo nor kochorens, Nyingpo lengo nyamnes, mitse de, drowa tendra mimpar, terin rang laglen la debgos, Nyingpo chindra lenas, kebe mi pen, gombe mi pen, sem ngö kyongwe kyang mi pen, tsalung gombe kyang mi pen, dedran sokpe kyang mi pen, nge songi kewa doktsam kyang cher mi pen, sakchan sam kyang cher mi pen, shengi tewe kyang kala pen, hona kang cha nyamnas, lamtso sumda, shila, rimni namla, nyongwa kang töla tsungo, tani nyingrer, tedala nyongwa chi tuen chawar tamchago, tamcha tsamya mimbar, shake tuenba chago, telchor gombe juk nyingpo ngebar len she tamchagos, delchor gombe norbu nyeba tabu gawa, haran chuna delchor ge ngosongwala nyongwa kewe tagins, kechirere shindo yang serkya kyalwa, chula nawa powa tsam pansem, kena tuencha nyongwa keba tagins, petuen dreba nyam cheba chungna nye kawe nyongwa kebe tagins, mi takpe nyongwa, delchurge norbo rangi yobe tu sogos. Okay. We'll just read it without many explanations. The difficulty of obtaining such a perfect human body of leisure and endowments. We have not found such thing in the past, and it will be difficult to find them again in the future. How can these conditions be gathered again? It is difficult to provide the causes, it is difficult to gather its futures, and even finding an existing example for this is difficult. We have thus obtained what is difficult to obtain, and we have done it on time now. So, we have thus obtained what is difficult to obtain, on time now. What is difficult to gather is gathered now. What a pity it would be if we let it be squandered. What was squandered in the past is already done. For the little time that remains, because we are going to die, it is appropriate to take advantage of it day and night. What a pity if we do not. Cheating ourselves, spending day and night, rendering our life empty. What a pity it is. What difference is there between us and the one who throws a sack full of gold dust in a river? We are cheating ourselves. Having obtained such a perfect human body of leisure and endowments, how can we waste it? Having obtained such a rebirth of great value, how can we waste it? Having found such things which are difficult things to find, how can we permit ourselves to just hang around? We must deeply shake ourselves up so that we do not have any distractions in every instant. It is time to take the essence of it by any means. It is time to make the jewel perform the function of a jewel. It should not be just a thought, thinking repeatedly, we have to take the essence of it while life runs out. We have to put it in practice this very day. How should we take the essence of it? Being wise does not help. Meditating does not help. Also providing the nature of mind, preserving the nature of mind does not help. Meditating on the channels and winds does not help either. Reciting also does not help. Just avoiding a life in the lower realms also does not help that much. Accumulating merits and exalted wisdom and doing purification also does not help that much. So, how can other acts be more helpful? If one thought, what can we do? We have to strive to gain any experience with regards to the three principal aspects of the path, shamatha, vipassana, and the two stages, which means, how can we make this life meaningful? By developing love towards oneself, love towards others, correct view of reality, control of one's own mind with shamatha, vipassana, and the generation and completion stage. That's how we make this life truly meaningful. So, if one thought, what can we do? We have to strive to gain experience with regards to the three principal aspects of the path, shamatha, vipassana, and the two stages, the generation and completion stages of the Tantra. Now we have to make the promise to gain any experience with regards to them, day by day. Also, it should not be only a promise. We should ensure that we get something done day after day. The conclusion of meditating on the perfect human body of leisure and endowments is to promise saying, I will definitely take the essence of it. I will not let my life just go by day, complaining and looking for pleasures and grabbing myself, holding at wrong views and expectations and sadness and whatever. I will make this life truly meaningful. I will definitely take the essence of it. When there is clear joy in oneself from meditating on the perfect human body of leisure and endowments, like that of finding a jewel, it is a sign that one has developed the experience of recognizing the leisure and endowments of one's perfect human body. And when there is a sense of loss in every instant, like that of throwing a bag of gold dust in a river, it is a sign that one has developed the experience regarding the great value of or meaningfulness of the perfect human body of leisure and endowments. When one thinks the example and the meaning are assimilated, it is a sign that one has developed the experience regarding the difficulty of obtaining a perfect human body of leisure and endowments. The point is, our life is too precious to simply let it go. I just remember, it says here in the end of the example, one of the great masters of our times, which was Geshe Yeshe Wanchuk, one of the gurus of Lama Ganchen also, whom I had the great opportunity of meeting also. In one of his teachings at this point, he made the following example. He said, imagine if someone lends you a machine that can print money. Okay, officially. Nothing illegal. Okay? Suddenly someone comes and gives to you, look, here you are the machine, you can print money with it, it's fully legal, no problem. The person is lending us, not giving us the machine, is lending us the machine. But there is one condition. He says, use it as much as you like, but the moment I ask it back, you need to give it to me. And we have no idea when that moment will be. Can you tell me when? I cannot tell you when. The only thing I can tell you, here you are, the machine is yours as long as I don't ask it back. Okay? What we do with such machine? We put it in the garage and we never use it. Or we start using it right away and we even don't stop to eat and we get something there and there we are printing money as much as we can because we don't know for how long we can do that and we have such a precious opportunity. Okay? Not only for me but also for others. I'm not that selfish. Let's do things for everyone. Let's print millions and do it as much as we can. Right? That's what we do with this life. We treat this special opportunity just as we have received this most precious machine and we just put in one place, now I have no time, maybe one day. The problem is that when we want to use it, that's when the person comes and say, okay, now give it back to me. Because this life is not ours. It has been lended to us by the Lord of Death, has been lent to us by the Lord of Death. In the day death comes to us and say, give it back to me, we cannot say no. Then it's too late to start doing something. So this is a clear example, no? So we have it right now. Let's make the best use we can out of it. Okay? Jetsu lame kotse raptenchi namkar tinle chochur gepadang losan tempe dreme sasumgi Drove munsel tatu ne gyurchi. Nimo dele tsendele, nime kunyan delekshin. Ninsen taktu delekpe, koncho sumge jing. Koncho sumge ngodrub tsol, koncho sumge trashisho. At dawn or dusk, at night or midday, may the three jewels grant us their blessings. May they help us to achieve all realizations and sprinkle the path of our lives with various signs of auspiciousness.